Oh my goodness. Downtown Tampa, St. Pete, apartments, condos, townhomes. And I wanted to ask Ryan Pelky with Tampa Bay Plumbers. TampaPlumber.net. What's your phone? 813 Plumber.
813 Plumber.
813 Plumber. If you're looking at plumbing, man, I love that you got that phone number. It's awesome. I've told them that like 6 times. I want 813 houses.
I feel you. It's good. It's good being us.
So the commercial side of the business, are you guys seeing a massive amount of, and not necessarily that you're doing all of it, but are you guys starting to see people coming in and saying, hey, I need, I'm building 200 a lot of commercial development. Do you guys see that on the construction side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we don't do a whole lot of new construction development type work, but what it does is all that activity creates a demand for plumbers. And so the guys that used to be trying to compete for the type of work that I go after, they're out there doing those apartment buildings and condos and high rises and stuff like that.
Does that mean it's harder to find good plumbers when you're growing?
It's very hard to find.
Yeah,
in fact, I could hire 3 or 4 really good guys right now.
So if you're listening, TampaPlumber.net, 813 Plumber.
And yeah, that's our biggest issue right now. Unfortunately, we're at a position where we're turning down work every week, and not just calls that we don't want, but really high profitable jobs because we just don't have the guys to do it.
That's the same thing. If you listen to this radio station, you're going to hear a lot of recruiting spots from my company. One of the great things about being marketers like us is that sometimes we create more business than our organizations are there to handle. And that's one of our big focuses right now. We don't want to lose, through our growth, we don't want to lose the importance of service to our clients and being responsive and being able to, give them great world-class service. So you have to sometimes take that step back and say, man, I need some great people right now. That's our radio ads right now are talking about how we're recruiting agents and how we're looking to add agents to our team and where you can apply on the DuncanDuo.com, all that kind of stuff, and how we're different. We're different than a typical real estate brokerage. So it's interesting that you're having that problem, and it's interesting that the development is what's causing it because you're not necessarily creating new plumbers, but now the same amount of plumbers, have a lot more business to keep up with.
Right.
Does that cause for the residential person too? Does that cause a change in cost for plumbing services when because I assume they're buying like some more supplies and stuff like that?
Right. Well, I think the value of the jobs are starting to rise again, where there was a lot of downward pressure on the market in the last 5-6 years. There's definitely with increased competition, you have more supply, and the demand wasn't going up really, so the cost went down.
Well, one of the things that causes wrinkles for home purchases that all of us on the show have a challenge with sometimes is a 4-point inspection. 4-point inspection has to be done depending on the insurance company, the age of the home, but a lot of times it's older homes. What are what's maybe the most common thing you see as a plumber that fails on the plumbing side of those 4-point inspections?
That's a good question. The typical home inspectors are fantastic, and the reports that they send out are awesome, but
here comes a but when it comes to plumbing, they suck.
No, they can only see what they can see, and
they're not sending down cameras.
We use our technology that we have available to us to really get inside of those pipes and see. I like to call it the lipstick on the pig.
Right.
And right now we're finding an awful lot of lipstick on pigs.
And I think there's a lot of great home inspectors out there, but you're right, they're not using the same equipment on the plumbing side. And the plumbing, it can be one of the most expensive things. I mean, that's one of the things that's important, when you're going through that process. It can be really expensive, and it can't get caught by the naked eye generally.
No, it can't. See, the thing is that these guys, they'll go in and they'll flip a house, they'll put all brand new finishes on, trim, paint, and but they won't repipe the house. They'll have galvanized pipes, or they'll have cast iron drainage.
And that's especially common when you're dealing with like the 50-year-old homes and some of those obstacles.
In South Tampa, there's plenty of those down here, and so if that work is all completed and the pipes are bad, then you have to rip out a lot of that work to get to those pipes to replace them now, and that can be incredibly expensive.
Yep.
So we've been doing an enormous amount of inspections on these houses, on new purchases, where in the past we didn't really
do a lot of it.
We didn't do a whole lot of those, and it's good that the buyers are spending the extra money to have a better look at these pipes. So,
and I don't mean to cut you off, but we got to run to the break, and we're going to continue this conversation. We got Arnie and David Diaz with Waterstone Mortgage, Ryan Pelky, Tampa Bay Plumbers, after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.